Today we're going to be solving proportions using cross products. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to review equal proportions. So we have the proportion set up here with the ratio 3 to 9 set equal to the ratio x to 27. We have a variable here, so we need to solve this proportion to find the value for x. Now it's easy to see the relationship of how you get from 9 to 27, where you would multiply by 3 to get from 9 to 27. So if you do the same thing on the top, multiply 3 by 3, then you would get the value x equals 9, and then you've solved the proportion. Sometimes it's not as easy to use equal ratios to solve a proportion. We have the proportion set up here of 3 5/10 miles to 2/10 hours, set equal to the ratio x to 6 hours. Now, it might seem a little bit more difficult to figure out how to go from 2/10 to 6 through multiplication, so we have another strategy that we call cross products, which we can use to solve a proportion like this and find the value for x. These are the steps that you use to solve a proportion using cross products. First thing you want to do is cross multiply, and you show this with propellers, and I'll explain what that means in a second. Then you write an equation, and then you solve the equation for the value of x. So we have, again, the proportion 3 5/10 miles to 2/10 hours set equal to x to 6 hours. The first thing that you want to do is cross multiply. So we take x and we multiply it with 2/10, and I show that by drawing what looks like a helicopter propeller, and we're going to multiply 2/10 times x. Then we draw propellers around 3 5/10 and 6, and then we set 2/10 times x equal to 3 5/10 times 6. Once we have this equation, we can begin to solve for the value of x. Now, there's nothing really that we can do over here right now, 2/10 times x, but on the right side, we have 3 5/10 times 6. So we're going to rewrite 2/10 times x, and that's equal to 3 5/10 times 6, which is a value of 21. Now we have a multiplication equation, so to get x by itself, we divide both sides by 2/10. 2/10 divided by 2/10 cancels out, and you're left with just the variable. And then on the right side, 21 divided by 2/10 is 105, and x equals 105 miles. Now we're going to do a second example. This time it's coming from a word problem. So there's no proportion set up yet for you to solve. So we're going to read the word problem, set up the proportion, and then solve for the missing value. The word problem says, a recipe calls for 8 ounces of water for every 3 cups of oil. If you are going to use 12 ounces of water, how much oil do you need? So first, we want to find the important information. So this ratio, 8 ounces of water for every 3 cups of oil, we can write that out and begin our proportion. So we have 8 ounces to 3 cups. That's set equal to the ratio 12 ounces of water to a certain number of cups of oil. So on the other side of the equal sign, ounces go on the top, so I'm going to put 12 ounces on the top, and on the bottom, I don't know how many cups of oil I need, so that's where I'm going to put my variable x. Once we have the proportion set up, we can draw the propellers and show that we're going to multiply 12 and 3 and set that equal to the product of 8 and x. Now, I'm going to multiply 12 times 3 to get 36, and that's equal to 8x. Again, we have a multiplication equation, so what we're going to do to get x by itself is divide both sides by 8. On the right side, 8x divided by 8. The 8's cancel each other out, and you're left with the variable. And then on the left side of the equal sign, we have 36 divided by 8, which is 4 and 5/10. So our answer is 4 and 5/10 cups of oil.